Good morning, everyone. I am representing the government team and we fully support the motion. This House will let the government fully own and manage all public transportation in Indonesia. We believe that public transportation is not just a service, it is a lifeline. It connects people to education, work, healthcare, and their families. When the system is broken or unfair, it does not just slow us down, it holds the entire country back. Right now, our transportation system is fragmented. In Jakarta, we may have advanced systems like MRT and Transjakarta, but in many parts of Indonesia, even basic public transport is hard to find. Why? Because private companies are only focused on profit. They only invest in places that are densely populated or economically attractive. As a result, millions of people in rural and less developed regions are left behind. This inequality is unacceptable in a country that values unity and progress. Our proposal is clear. The government must take full ownership and control of all public transportation in the country. This includes not only trains and buses but also urban systems like MRT and LRT. With unified ownership, we can implement a national transportation vision, one that ensures quality, fairness, and long-term growth. This policy would allow for full integration. Imagine traveling from a small town to the capital using just one ticketing system. You would not need a separate application, different card, or a confusing schedule. Everything would be connected, just like in developed countries such as Japan or South Korea, where public transport is not only reliable but also deeply integrated into daily life. Beyond integration, this move will also increase public safety. When there is a single standard enforced nationwide, safety protocols become clear, regular maintenance is guaranteed, and emergencies can be handled faster. There is no more shifting the blame between operations. One system, one responsibility, one resolution. We also want to highlight the environmental impact. The government can accelerate the use of electric vehicles and reduce fossil fuel consumption in public transport. Climate change is a serious threat and Indonesia needs to act fast. With government control, policies to reduce emission can be applied evenly across all cities, not just where it is trendy or profitable. Long-term planning is another strength of this proposal. The private sector usually thinks in 5-year cycles, focus on return on investment. But the government can think in the cities, mapping out urban expansion, infrastructure need, and regional development without pressure from shareholders. Let's not forget affordability. In a government-run system, transportation can be subsidies for low-income groups, students, and the elderly. This is not possible if private companies dominate the market. If transport becomes too expensive, people will avoid it, leading to more motorbikes, more cars, more pollution, and more traffic. Now, the opposition may argue that government systems are slow or inefficient, but inefficiency is not a permanent flaw. With digital tools, performance-based budgeting, and public audits, we can build systems that are just as professional as private ones. We have seen successful examples in countries like Singapore and even in cities within Indonesia where government-run transport has improved significantly. Others may say that innovation comes from the private sectors. That is true, but innovation can still happen under public ownership. The government can collaborate with a startup, integrate smart technology, and stay open to new ideas without giving up control over essential service. Of course, managing a national system will require money, but let's look at the bigger picture. Good public transport increases productivity, reduces traffic jams, improves air quality, and makes cities more livable. These are long-term gains that justify the investment. Moreover, it saves people money on fuel, parking, and car maintenance, benefiting not just individuals, but the economy as a whole. So the conclusion that we believe public transportation should not be left to market forces. It must be seen as a national priority plan, managed and protected by the government for the good of all. A fully government-owned system is the key to equity, sustainability, and unity in Indonesia's future. Thank you. Hi, good day. I'm not speaking as the opposition team, and we strongly disagree with the motion this House would let the government fully own and manage all public transportation in Indonesia. Well, we agree that public transport is crucial. We believe that giving the government full ownership and control is not the right solution. In fact, it could create more problems than it solves. Let's begin by looking at the status quo right now. Public transportation in Indonesia is managed through a combination of public and private efforts. This system may not be perfect, but it allows for flexibility, competition, and innovation. Private companies bring in fresh ideas, modern technology, and funding things that the government often lacks. Taking away the private sector will reduce competition, and without competition, there is less motivation to improve service. Imagine if one single body had total control, no alternatives, no competitors. Would they really care about customer satisfaction? Will they innovate? Will they respond to complaints quickly? We don't think so. We have seen many examples where government-run service become slow, overstaffed, and inefficient. Bureaucracy get in the way, and decision making becomes political. The risk of corruption and mismanagement increases when everything is centralized. Furthermore, running a national transportation system requires hard capital. Where will the money come from? From tax. So instead of attracting investment from the private sector, the burden shifts to the public. In a country like Indonesia with limited resources and many competing priorities, this is not the smartest move. Consider the speed of development private companies can act fast. They see an opportunity, they invest, and they build. Government projects, on the other hand, often face delays permits, budgeting, and changing leadership can also slow things down. If we rely solely on the government, we risk slowing the progress of infrastructure development across the country. In fact, in many cases, public-private partnerships have proven to be most effective solution. The government set the rules and ensure fairness, while the private sector brings in capital, innovation, and efficiency. Why not strengthen the system instead of replacing it entirely? Let's take a real-world example, the MRT Jakarta. This system was developed with cooperation between national and international institutions involving both public and private funding. It has become a model of success. If this project had been managed by the government alone, would it have moved as quickly? Would it be as well designed and efficient? Probably not. The government's role is important, but it's all focused on regulation, not domination. It should set safety standards, monitor pricing, and ensure accessibility. But it doesn't need to own everything to do that. In fact, keeping a balance allows us to get the best of both worlds, public control and private efficiency. And let's not forget the risk of politicization. When transport is fully run by the government, decisions may be based on political interest instead of what is best for the people. Leaders may choose to build projects in certain areas just to win votes instead of solving real transportation problems. We are also concerned about innovation. In today's world, technology changes rapidly. Applications for road tracking, digital payments, smart scheduling, these are often developed by private companies. If everything is under government control, we lose that speed and creativity. Lastly, we believe in giving people choice. When there is more than one operator, people can choose the service that fits their needs and budget. Monopoly, even under the government, removes that choice. The conclusion: we agree that public transportation must improve, but making the government the sole owner and manager is not the answer. It is better to let the government lead with strong policies and regulation, while still partnering with private companies that bring value. That is how we can build a system that is efficient, innovative, and fair for everyone. Thank you.